Welcome back to Polished Professionals, the blog and brand to help you conquer the workaday world with style and poise. I'm Mel, an attorney and small business owner, certified etiquette consultant, and founder of Polished Professionals. We are so glad you're here joining us today. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please make sure you hit that and the bell so you never miss an episode. The Polished Professionals community is here for you. Today, we're talking about the top 3 ways to make your work more meaningful to you. You spend more than half your lifetime in the office. So what are the ways that you can really make sure your work has meaning for your life? We explore 3 ways that you can get a lot more out of the workplace and really find satisfaction in what you do every day. So let's not delay. Tip number 1. Find something challenging. And what do I mean by challenging? Challenging things have to be things that really press you to keep learning more, doing more, and growing your skill set. So if you, for example, sit behind a desk every day and you get bored by midday, maybe you're not a person that needs to be sitting behind a desk all day. Maybe you need to be somebody out in the field, maybe doing sales, going to meetings, other things like that. But making sure that you feel challenged in whatever respective job that you've chosen is a key element to job satisfaction overall. And if challenges are not something that are coming your way, it isn't that means that that's the wrong job for you. Challenges are things that you can seek out. So what do I mean by that? So say, for example, your boss is giving you the same task over and over and over again. Have you ever seen Office Space TPS reports? Does that mean anything? No? Okay. But if something is not challenging for you, I would certainly say that you can go seek those things out. The boss is giving you something over and over again. You can make sure to find a way to get some challenges. What boss doesn't want to hear somebody come up to them and say, "Hey boss, I really like to take on a project X. I said that this is something we think we need. You talked about it in the goals meeting. This is how I think I can help with that." No boss would turn that down. If it's something that you think can grow your skill set, I would say be proactive about finding ways to start implementing those things and doing them in your job. If you get snubbed, then you may know that this place is not the right place for you to be. But other than that, you really can feel like you can go forward and learn new skills by being assertive and telling your boss, or going to HR, or joining larger kind of community meetings where you can say, "Hey, I want to join this task force to do a certain task and to grow a certain skill set." But making sure you're continually challenged is a key factor in your job satisfaction. It isn't to say that you should just be running at 100 miles an hour all the time. So I do want to temper that with some reality. You certainly want to make sure you're growing your skill set, but do make sure you're doing it at a sustainable pace. A challenge all the time might be overkill for you and you may burn out. So be really careful about what challenges you're seeking, but don't be lazy about not seeking them, because a place where you just feel bored by midday is not a place that you're going to grow. It's not a way that you're going to expand your skill set, and it really will not be a place where you'll find any job satisfaction. Tip number 2 to finding satisfaction in the workplace is a job that is worth your while. And what do I mean by that? I said already, it isn't just about the money, but a job that's worth your while really fits your personal needs. So that can be things like being close to the office so that your commute time is low. It could be things like that they have childcare available for you so that you don't have to have that expenditure, that you can save time going to pick up your child and also know that your child has good quality care. It could be that a job may be worth your while because it provides for some other needs that you have, like completing your education. Maybe they have tuition reimbursement, things like that. But seeking out the things that really meet your needs is one way to really ensure that a job is going to be sustainable for you and that you're going to enjoy it. You'll appreciate a job that pays you well, market rate. It has to do that. Otherwise, I think most people will run away. But that really does fulfill some other needs in your life. And those are things you should be seeking out for sure if you're in a job interview, thinking about changing careers, things like that. Make sure that you've got these questions ready, But before that, you have to know what your own needs are. So knowing what your own desires are and what is important to you, whether it's the childcare, tuition, proximity to home, time management, flex schedules to be able to take care of other personal needs that you have. All of those things are things you need to be thinking about and you need to be looking for in your jobs if you're searching for a new job. And then if you're already in a current position, some of these things may still be attainable. If you can show a business case, for example, of why you going back to school could really help your company, even if there's not a full-time policy about it or a full HR policy about it, you could really convince a boss or an HR manager that they could reimburse you for your school, and because of these reasons, it will benefit the business. Whether or not you could take on a task that you currently outsource if you have a degree or if you have a certificate, things like that, you really may be able to be, again, proactive at finding things that you need to make the company you're currently at work for you and your needs. Also, things like a flex schedule may be something you can work into yours if you talk to your boss or your HR representatives. Often companies don't really have, smaller companies especially, don't really have long thought out processes when it comes to HR and when it comes to time off, things like that. They put the standard in 2 weeks, and every big holiday off. But, there could be some business reasons as well that could be very beneficial to you. Personally, that you could consider asking. For example, maybe it is that you need to get off early on the weekends because you're helping out an aging parent and you're tag teaming with a sibling or something like that. But if you could get in early on Mondays, Tuesday mornings and get the afternoons off, you could say what kind of work you can get done early in the morning, how you could be a help to the business unit that you support, things like that if you get in early those days, and that may make them be able to better grant your requests for more flexible time. So it's always worth asking and never just settling for any job that you're in. I think you can always do it gracefully and professionally if you can give a business case for why you're asking for a policy change or some sort of special dispensation when it comes to some of these needs. And if you are shy about those things, certainly please ask me, because that's what we're here for. We want to make sure we give you tools to make sure you conquer the workaday world, and certainly being able to approach your bosses and HR about the things you need is definitely one of those ways we want to help you out. So if you have any questions about how to approach this, I think a review time is a good time of year to do it. If you are really had a big change in circumstances in your life and think you may have to leave or quit, being honest about that timing and what is happening in your life. You never know how a company may react, how they may value you, and they really will often want to support you more than you know. So it is not worth just quitting on a company just because there isn't a policy that addresses your needs. I think go ask first before you think about moving on. You never know. You can maybe make the job that you're in the perfect job for you, because it really will be worth your while and meet your needs. Tip number 3, the third way to make sure that your job satisfaction is through the roof. Find something progressive. What do I mean by progressive? Progressive means it's a place where you can grow. We talked about expanding your skill sets, making something worth your while. We talked about something being challenging to you, continuing to push you and help you grow. But if there is no upward trajectory, you may not be motivated at all to stay in your current job. So understanding what your upward mobility is, how you might be able to become a team leader, how you might be able to manage people or other resources or other job responsibilities will be a key in making sure you remain satisfied in a job. So you need to make sure that, just like the other 2 topics we discussed, that you're being proactive in this and that you're really seeking out ways that you can learn how you can progress in your work. So that could be things like asking your boss how you might be able to get a raise the next year. What skill sets do you need to demonstrate in order to do that? Or what responsibilities, job duties, certificates, things like that you may need to make sure that you will take that next step up, for example, into a management role. What is it that they expect of somebody in management, and how can you acquire the skills to get there? Those are the types of questions you need to be asking your boss, your HR representatives, or even people that are in those current positions, because inevitably those people are hoping to move up too, and you can talk to them about how they got there, what skill sets they had that got there, and what their path was to that position. So taking on things that can allow you to move in an upward trajectory. I will say though, if you're not getting positive feedback on this issue, make sure you press this a little bit more, just saying whether or not this is a place for you to be long term. I think to me, the way that I would want to ask this question would be, kind of what are the ways you view me being able to participate and help and grow this company over the next 5 years? Is there a place for me in upper management if I get these kinds of skills? And ask them how you can get those kind of skills. What projects could you take on to do that? But if you keep getting rebuffed and if you think this is a dead-end job, I do think that's maybe a time for you to start looking. But you do have to make the effort before you just assume it's a dead-end job. Some people may not want to be taking this kind of initiative to grow and manage people and get more responsibility. Maybe they can't take that on with their personal lives. So if it is something that motivates you, progression in the workforce, maybe higher salary, but also maybe just managing people, maybe that's something you really want to do. Make sure you're being proactive about asking about how you can do that, how that can be a part of your career path at that company. And if it's not, then that again is a tip that you may need to move on. So just as a reminder, the top 3 ways you're going to find job satisfaction is to find something that keeps you challenged, something that is worth your while, meets your personal needs, and then finally, something that is progressive. Those are the 3 ways that you can really find a job that will become your dream job. Even if it isn't now, you can, as we talked about, make it that way. So we hope you found these helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure to leave them in the comment boxes below. Your fellow boss babes want to hear from you, and we never want you to miss an episode. So make sure you hit the subscribe button below and the bell so you never miss a show. And we hope you check us out on our blog, www.polished-professionals.com, where you can find out all of our other work tips and tricks, fashion for the working woman, healthcare and beauty, and so much more. Again, we hope you join the Polished Professionals community, and you can find out all about us in the comments below. We are here for you.